Looks pretty good. I think it's going to be absolutely upside down. Oh, might have to turn that around a little bit. Sorry if I make you motion sick. Ooh, I like that better. I don't know if I love that yet, but I like that better. Yeah, that'll do. All right. Well, let me grab a cup of coffee and we'll talk about some of this stuff. I think my cream could use a real good shake, so give her a vigorous shake in there. It's an absolutely windy as windy could be day today. It was windy yesterday too, but today it's cold and rainy while it's windy. So we're doing inside stuff today. I had to run some errands this morning. My kid had a track meet and he didn't have any lunch ready. So I was like, that's nice. Why didn't we do this last night? Come on, man. But I got it delivered to him and I left the window down in my truck yesterday after I went for this rock walk. And when I went out there this morning, the rain came in at an angle in the wind and it just completely soaked the entire driver's side of my truck. So, must love the wind. What happens if I move this? Does it get into focus better? A little bit. All right, so I really didn't find a lot yesterday. It was nice enough though, and the dog was just delighted. So that's a win. Can't complain if the dog is happy. She needed to get out, stretch her legs a little. So we did just that. It was great. Little windy, like I say, but good. And I'm glad that I kind of had the mindset of like, oh, maybe we should wait and the weather will be nicer tomorrow. Well, I'm glad I didn't do that because the weather is definitely not nicer today. So let's start with a few of my favorites and then we'll talk about some of the lesser favorites and then we'll come all the way back around and we'll talk about the cabs that I wire wrapped from yesterday's show. So let's see, where should we start? This one. Yellow is always one of my favorites. Yellow is one of my favorite colors. So pick a lot of these yellow ones up. I'll have to get in here and look with the jeweler's loop and see what's, or even better, I've got my Optivisor now, so whatever it's called. And check out some of this different stuff that's going on in here. That's a pretty rock. I love the yellow stones that don't come off the Yellowstone. Some of my faves. This one's really cool. This one's pink as pink could be. And give it a quick little scrub. See if we can get any better look at it here. I don't usually find rocks quite this pink, so it definitely caught my attention. About as clean as I think we're going to get it there. Is my focus going to do this again today? That's better if I keep it down a little closer to the water. Kind of brown on the outside, but boy, it sure is pink on the inside. So pink. All right. Let's talk about this boring rock first, then we'll bounce kind of back into some of the prettier stuff here. I gave him a quick rinse last night and picked out a couple of, like, okay, so yesterday it was so windy. So you had to stay like really, really low to the ground. Otherwise the wind was just like so absurd. And so some of this stuff, like, I didn't even take the time really to wipe it off properly on my jeans or anything. I just kind of grabbed it and stuffed it in my bag. That's what me and my brother like to call mercy grabbing. We do a lot of that when it gets really cold out and your fingers are froze, or on like kind of colder, windier days like yesterday. You'll get a better look at it here at the house. So just grab it and stuff it in the bag. So I took some of those out. Like I said, I kind of pre-rinsed these last night. I definitely didn't wash them. I just rinsed them real quick, and pulled out some of the leverites. But this, I believe that this is a chert. And of course, we're not going to see here. I really am due to do a couple of nice close-up videos on a couple of these things, because I'm trying to hold it in focus while I dig through here for something I can point with. Because some of these little tiny details in these that I know we're never going to get on camera. Oh my goodness. Let me find something really quick. I know we're never going to get these little details on camera, but I can do a lot better job getting the detail in a short video, or even with some still pictures especially. Irk! This is insane. I already got a whole cup of them over here. Let's just grab one of these. Sure, alrighty. We got some kind of fantabulous colored pencil here. This is fancy. Okay, so I'm sure that these are chert, and like right here is a little tiny fossil. Like right here is a long fossil piece. Anyway, it's not uncommon for cherts to have fossils in them. Should pay attention to here and make sure. Anyway, this is kind of pretty. It's kind of pink here, brown here, like a pale gray color here, and then back to brown. And then, like I say, just every now and then there's a tiny little fossil in here. So this is kind of one of the more solid pieces. Like this face in particular is pretty fracture free. I might be able to get a piece of jewelry out of that. And that side really is pretty. There's so much like fine little tiny stuff happening in here. If I turn it towards the light, you guys can see it better. Nope, that just made it super reflective. Anyway, I do pick up some chert from time to time, especially if it's containing little fossils. I think it's really pretty stuff. What in the world is this? Give it a little scrub-a-dub. So it has some lines on this side, but it doesn't look like petrified wood. But this side is almost agate-y. I don't know. Kind of an interesting piece. What is this? Oh, this is pretty. Okay, so this reminds me. I love to give credit where credit's due, but I honestly cannot remember who I was watching. And they were telling us how quartz that is stained by iron can be a blue color. And I feel so lied to, because I've been under the impression all this while that blue quartz is highly uncommon. That it's just not, I mean, it exists, but that it's not common. This is pretty. It's pink up here, blue over here. I'm going to have a look at it with my eyeball real quick and see if there's any particular reason why I picked this up. Must have been a mercy grab. I don't know. That's not the prettiest rock. But anyway, I learned, and I got to fact check it still, but I've learned recently that quartz that's stained with iron can be kind of a blue color. And like I say, I feel a little bit lied to because there's so much quartz out here, and a lot of our stuff, I don't know what this is. A lot of our stuff is quartz, and a lot of our stuff is iron, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if I'm finding blue quartz. And all this while I've been like, that's, not likely because that's not common, and it turns out it kind of is. So anyway, interesting. Oh, this is neat. I can't tell you exactly what this is, but it's got a little, like, I don't know, needles in it. It's got like a little, looks like some kind of metal. I'm sure it's a piece of feldspar or hornblende or something in there, but it's kind of cool. That caught my attention. Otherwise, kind of a cute little thing. I wonder if I can get that to flash for you guys. That little metal bits in there. Probably not. And probably just should be glad it's focusing as well as it is. Let's go back to some of these that I really like. This one's cool. Again, I really like the yellow stones that don't come from the Yellowstone. That's a cool one. Yellow is my favorite. Let's do another yellow one while we're at it. I love it. It's so pretty. Ah! Yellow jasper of some sort there. I don't know what that's what I would call it. It's pretty. Here's a blue one. Blue gray, almost black up here on top. Boy, that's really pretty actually. That really dark blue. Here's some pink in here. Most likely a piece of quartz. Although it looks like it might have a little bit. Nope, it's all quartz. Sorry, I'm looking at it with my eyeball. I should be showing it to you guys. I told you, though, I haven't really looked at these myself. I just rinsed them real quick. We could probably... We can clean that up at all. What a pretty little piece. I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's not special or spectacular, but it's, I mean, kind of pretty. What's that? Aw, a little agate. Got some little banding in him. Nothing fancy. What about this one? I don't know what that is. Looks like a jasper. I don't know. Kind of a pretty little thing. So I've done a lot of reading on like what kind of stuff we can find here. And we find, according to the old timers and the old geology books and stuff, we can find a lot of fluorite. We can find some very nice marble, but I honestly wouldn't know marble if it fell out of the sky and landed right in front of me. Lots and lots of quartz, that kind of thing. So, and there are some iron deposits and things near, and some gold and that kind of stuff. But I think it's helpful to kind of know what kind of stuff you might be finding nearby. That helps you to be able to better identify your stuff. But I'm still not super familiar with what fluorite can be. Several different colors, so I'm not always super sure if I'm finding fluorite or if I'm finding quartz. So I should do some research on that and find out how to tell the difference. I definitely have a lot of learning to still do. What is this ugly potato of a rock? That thing is not cute. I must have wondered if it was an agate out in the field. And I don't think it is. It's not very cute. Here's a little fossil that I found. And I found both halves of. I don't know if you guys can see how kind of translucent that is. He's not as translucent when you buddy him up, put him back together. But I often find these broken in half, by the way. I don't usually find them in one piece. Trying to get you back in focus a little there. One hand, maybe get this hand out of the way. Anyway, I wish you could see a little better how translucent that is, but we'll look at other things like that in the future too. So, ooh, that's a pretty yellow one. I like that. It's probably just a quartzite. It's got cute little spots happening. Boop, 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 boop. I like its little spots. But yeah, I love the yellow ones, even if they're not fancy or anything. Look, I found an artifact yesterday. Piece of human garbage. It's a pretty color, huh? Kind of a purple, pink purple color. Sometimes on the camera where I'm looking, it looks kind of clear, and then sometimes it looks purple. Take it to the chopper, brother says. I know, some of this stuff in here is exactly why I picked it up. In fact, speaking of picking things up to cut, I picked this up. What is this, granite? I just never usually see them quite this orange. Red-orange color around here. They're not usually quite so vibrant and pretty. Ugh, it does not look vibrant and pretty on that other camera over there. So I want to chop this up and see what happens. Will it just crumble? Will it take a polish? Well, come chop up this orange rock then, if you like orange, brother. I actually got another big piece of that. I got 2 pieces of that, just in case I liked it. This one's not quite as vibrant as the other one, though. It's pretty stuff, though. I don't know. Anyway, like I say, just for the fun of it. What's this? Well, that's interesting. Little tiny agate banding. Here, there. That one actually is really kind of cute. Yeah, otherwise, what is that? That is not a pretty rock otherwise. Oh, yeah, all right. There's a little cutie. You got a little pocket on him. And Druzy in it, and Druzy never shows up on my camera, so let's not even hope for that. Okay. What's this? What the heck is that? Quartz again. It's quartz again. What is that? Is that a little... Huh. Must have been a mercy grab. A wonder stone. I wonder if this is worth keeping or not. I'll just throw it in the bag and go clean it up and find out. It might be worth having a look at under the loupe. see what is happening in here. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. We probably looked at that for far too long. Here's a weird one. What is that? A jasper with a little rhyolite chunk in it? I have no idea. Don't quote me on that. That was just a shot in the dark. Is it a metamorphosed limestone with a piece of chert in it? What is it? Quartzite? I don't know. I like its little bandy top, though. It's a little bandy top. I don't know. Weird one. Here's one that I picked up just because I've polished some of these before, tumbled some of these before, and they're kind of pretty. But I've never seen one with such tiny, teeny, tiny banding. I'm going to try something real quick. Did that help? Yeah. See all the fine grain in that? It's super weird. It's like bright red ones, but I usually find them with like bigger chunks. So that one was kind of odd. Thought I'd try that. Here's another piece of what I would call chert. And again, it is just absolutely loaded with little tiny fossils. This one right here is super cool. Right there. Any more little pieces? Here's another little like tracky looking bit. I think there were some circly looking ones in here too, but I'm not seeing them now. This stuff is some of my favorite to look at under magnification. Some of those little tiny fossily bits are amazing. Just absolutely beautiful. Like there's one, and this one's bisected by the crack in the rock. Anyway, I love to pick these up. I know they don't look like much on a YouTube live, but here's a bigger fossil. Here's one you definitely can see. And it's got some stuff on it that needs to, come off of there, but a little chunk. Nothing fancy. It's barely worth keeping. Oh, that's cute. Having a hard time telling if that's a little feldspar chunk or a little jasper chunk. It's kind of pretty though. All right, here's another one with lots of fossils in it. And then I got a couple mystery ones over here too that are not in this bowl. And then we'll talk about the cabs that I wrapped. Here's a little fossil spot. Here's one. Yeah, that was barely worth keeping too, honestly. All right, a couple of really good ones here for last. Little agate blop. I love me a little agate blop. That's a keeper. And last but not least, we get so much brown jasper up here that sometimes you kind of quit looking at it. But where's my focus? Tell me that's not beautiful. Big old crazy agate banding in there. I can't see where you guys can see it. So I'm just hoping that you're getting kind of a good view here. Oh, it's really pretty over here. I can't tell where the heck to point it. I'm so sorry. I'm struggling so hard. Where is my lens? Over here. No wonder. There we go. And then we get a big wicked glare on it. Definitely refill the old coffee cup there. This is morning coffee and rock chat. We can't have an empty coffee mug in this whole adventure. All right, I had a sip. Okay. If this focuses, it'll be an absolute miracle. It's trying. You guys see the little fossil right there? One right there, and one right there, and one right there. Does this help or hurt? Put it, where in the heck is the focus at today? So this is completely agatized with those teeny tiny little turritella fossils. Come on, focus. Oh. Yes, we can almost see them. These are some of my favorite rocks to find, and it takes a real sharp eye to find them. Like I say, it's an agate. And it's just absolutely chock full of those little fossils. It seemed really good on that face right there. It's actually not one of those needs to be wet kind of rocks. It's more like just needs to have an eagle eye. Here's another one. That's not quite the same thing, so I'll hold on to that and show it another day. I do have other pieces of that, and the other huge piece that I have, I'll bust it out really quick. You can see all the little dimples and spots where the shells are with the naked eye. But when you get way, way, way close in there, looking really closely at this, you can start to pick out the individual little turritillas, I think they're called. Let's see if it helps to get it wet. Actually, see? No, not really. But again, under magnification, they're just, oh my God, there's one there. They're everywhere in there. And it's just, these are, some, like I say, some of my favorite rocks to find. Definitely some of the coolest agates out there. Those are keepers. It's actually focusing kind of well. I doubt that it's focusing well enough to have a good look at this, but let's try it. So this rock is super weird. Yeah, you can totally see it. Do you guys see that weird, like, circly texture in there? Like, this is just hundreds of thousands of little tiny circles. Is it sand? Is this some kind of a sand conglomerate? Excuse me. It almost has I don't think it's dino bone, but it almost has like a fossilized coral kind of a feel to it. Anybody out there know? Now I've got it wet there from my thumb. But let's look at it wet. Why not? Is it some kind of a basalt? Does basalt do that? I'm going to need somebody out there who knows more about corals and fossils to come in and maybe confirm that that's not what we're looking at here. I'm just absolutely not sure. Hello, focus. Kind of an odd duck. Picked it up as a weird. I don't see that here ever. That tiny little, yeah, a sponge maybe. I just don't see those absolutely perfect little circles like that. There's a cool rock. Have we looked at that one ever before? I did not find this just recently, but it was on the lid of this jar that I just grabbed to get that other Turritilla rock. These are another one of my favorites to find. The jaspers that are brecciated or brecciated, however you want to say it, brecciated with agate banding. Those are some of my favorites. I love them. Those are keepers. Okay. I did actually set aside, before we go look at the cabs that I made, I wanted to show everybody this piece. I actually didn't know, like I say, I feel lied to, that quartz can be blue and that it's blue because it's iron stained. That was a real shocker for me today. That's something I learned. And then I learned this the other day too, that chalcedony or chalcedony is how I like to say it. I've said it, I say it both ways, but that it can form this kind of like melted pouring glass kind of, let's see about the focus here, huh? That it can form these like melted pouring glass kind of patterns. That's not terribly uncommon. It's the only piece like this that I have ever found. And I could probably do some work cleaning some of this stuff up. But I kind of like it just the way it is. So you know that I found it like that. I didn't just go like pour some glass and be like, ta-da, look. I don't know how you'd ever get all that intricate banding in there anyway if you tried to fake something like that, but focus today, yeah. Brother says he'd like to have this. I could pay you in rocks if you want to come chop things up for me. I'd gladly give you my favorite piece of agate. You could have it. But you got to get here. All right. And switch gears here real quick. Grab a sip of coffee because that's important. And I'll go with this one first. So I found, like I say, I found these cabs. They'd kind of been lost for a minute in some stuff that I'd kind of loaded up and moved. Honestly, I bet that these turned up missing when I had to turn the workbench back into a wood bin. Excuse me. I bet that's when they kind of got lost in the shuffle. So I went ahead and wire wrapped a couple of them up last night. Nothing too fancy. The big orange one, brother, is the big orange one the one you liked? I'm curious to see how that'll cut. I have no idea. I've never attempted a rock like that. So, and live and learn, right? This one, I love how this turned out, but I think I'm probably going to change the string to a gray one that I have, but I couldn't find it. So I just went ahead with the blue, but I don't like the blue. I do like the wire wrapping on this one a lot more than I do on the other one. It's so slick. I want to turn it the other way and I can't get a hold of it. There we go. See if we can get the feldspar to flash. I could have probably honestly done a little nicer job on the polish on those, but it's all right. Suits me just fine. There it kind of wants to do its feldspar flash thing in some of those lighter spots there. It's okay. I like the way it turned out. Mia had said she really liked that floating cabochon wire wrap style, so I went ahead and tried to go for that kind of style again. My wire was a little short to do it just like the one that I made, but you know, you got to get creative and just that's exactly how it was made to turn out. So I like this piece. This piece turned out really pretty. I like it a lot. It's simple, but it's pretty. Are those the cabs off of that huge hunk of rock you had? Yes. Yes. I've been asked before what's my favorite rock, and I don't have a favorite rock, but I do have a favorite rock to make cabs out of, and yes, there's a chunk of it still out in the field that's I probably couldn't even haul it home in my truck if I wanted to. It's enormous. But there was also like a basketball sized chunk of it sitting right next to it that I brought home and have had Caden hit with a hammer and break me off smaller pieces of. Yes, that is that rock. You are absolutely correct. Off the huge rock I still have a whole bunch of. I love that material. Love that stuff. I don't think I need to go get the big chunk. I think I just need to go whack a chunk off. And then when I run out of that, I go whack off another chunk and then go whack off until that rock is gone. I could never honestly cab an entire truck sized rock one chunk at a time. I would get so tired of working the same material. But, you know, I could probably go grab a little chunk of that and send it out to anybody who wanted to work with that material. It's beautiful. It's a pleasure to work. It's nice, soft stuff with a drop deck on it. We'll get it. A truck with a drop deck. Oh, you know, there never was a huge rock out on the boulevard on the corner either until I had a friend with a tractor put it in the back of my truck and haul it home. So I know people who know people how to get things done. So if I really wanted to have it, I probably could. But it's all right. I know where it's at. I know where it's at. I can go get some more. Be sad if something happened to me today and you could never find any more of that precious material. It's not precious. But I should probably, I don't know, drop it on a pin on a GPS or something in case I get Alzheimer's and can't remember someday. Well, let me tell you this much, brother. It's a little less than halfway in between me and you. It's a little closer to me than it is to you. Is that helpful? No, because that's where I go hounding all the time, is in between me and you, right? You should bother Sam the Rockman about getting us some more of that platinum ore, because I've just about got all of that cabbed up. I've got a few more pieces, but I kind of want to give them to a couple of special people, a couple of these other pieces, and they're getting pretty picked through. So yeah, that's super helpful. You could find it. I could tell you what road it was on, and you could. There's only about 4 or 5 places to turn off, and it's pretty obvious. So he's found some new things. Sam the Rockman has found some new things. We'll have to have a discussion about that. That's exciting news. What else do we know? I was gonna say something about. Oh, about where I rock hound, and who knows how to find me. And like I've mentioned before, that my friends and family have a really good idea. Those people who are really close to me have a really good idea where to look for me if I ever didn't show up on time. And I always park my truck where it can be seen from one of the roads that somebody's going to be looking for me on, and walk in. I like to walk in. I get to see all the rocks on the way there and back. So, I just, it's part of my safety thing. I take my friends and family to some of my rock places, and they know that I'm probably between here and there, probably between here and there, between here and there, north and south, and between here and there, east and west. And that gives them a pretty good place to start looking for me. If I go any place other than that, I usually tell somebody, hey, I'm going out, quite a ways east, or I'm going north this time instead of south, or whatever the deal is. So that's just part of the safety thing that I do, is somebody knows a pretty good general spot to start looking for me if things should not turn out well for me. I think I could think of 3 places, 2 more than likely. Sure, and then there are a couple more like wild cards, right? But I kind of like to let somebody know if I'm going there. Jumps at the Rocks is kind of a wild card, but sometimes I like to go there. Speaking of looking, I'm looking at getting a powered parachute, and so I can fly to some of these areas and maybe get a better idea of where to look now. Yes! Yes! You can fly over the terrain and say, hey, it's like super gravelly over here, and like, ew, it's just like alkaline flat over here. Let's go hound over here. It's a 2-seater. I don't know about that. I don't know if I trust you with my life. But boy, wouldn't that make some cool footage for some rock counting stuff? We could fly over some teepee rings, and because it's always so hard to show somebody a teepee ring at ground level. It's just like, I swear these rocks make a circle and it's really cool. And I swear there's like 30 of them out here, but you can only see 2 or 3 at a time. And you can land almost anywhere. Well, I can think of a few places that would be real easy to launch that thing off of. Just sit down and jump off the cliff, right? I don't know, is that how that works or not? It's motored, so you probably take off and land. Ooh. Yeah, well, you boys get me some good footage while you're up in the sky. I'm gonna I'll be on the ground picking up anything that looks interesting. We should get some walkie-talkies. No, left, more left. There you go. Do you see that rock over there? Do you see that, that dip, that valley, yeah, that could be exciting. Stay tuned for aerial guided rock hunts. Coming soon to Prairie Girl Rocks. Aerial guided rock hounding. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, why not? Dream big, shoot for the stars. In the meantime, here's some of my little rustic projects. Some of my favorite rocks. I did pretty okay. I mean, considering it was like mercy grabs, this is bizarro to me. And it's probably just nothing, but that texture is just crazy. I'll have to grab a, like I say, a short video or something and really zoom you guys in on that. That's just too weird. See if I put it like right up here and then try to focus it. Will it do it? How about a little more light? There we go. I have no idea. Like I say, junk. It's probably just junk, but it spiked my curiosity, so I got something to learn about. I brought home a curiosity and I got something to learn about. Yeah, I actually was just thinking about that the other day, brother. Because I was looking out the window on my way home and was like, man, when we were kids, we tore it up out there. We were all over out there. And that big, I thought about stopping and asking the landowner because it's a new landowner and we know who they are. I'm gonna try not to say people's names or places that are nobody's business, right? And no offense to you guys, but No Tell Creek is where I do all my rock hounding. Anyway, we know the people, and I was gawking out the window and I was like, how fun would it be to walk up that, there's that great big crack that's, taller than your head. Remember when we used to walk down that big crack back there and it went forever and ever and ever? And I think that might be where we found some of our killer fossils. I should have Caden take me too. He's got a place where he likes to go that you can walk from the house to, right out there somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but again, it's all stuff that we should take some of the YouTube viewers along to go see. Yeah, brother, exactly. I mean, I don't know if I want to go all the way back out to the saddle hill as we dubbed it when we were kids because you could sit on the top of it like a saddle. I don't know if I need to get my old rickety old self all the way that far out there, but just right out of town here is that great big crevice that we used to adventure through when we were kids, and I think it'd be fun to revisit it. But to take the young one with us. He's a little good luck charm. If there's anything to be found down there, he'll find it. So, anyway, yeah, went for a quick little poke, quick little walk. We go, found a little. Yeah, why not, brother? Some of the charts. Where's that that beautiful banded jasper? I think I've had a heck of a time showing this one today. Why would I try this again? Anyway, it's in there. The banding's in there. It's pretty. Where if we prop it up? It showed up in the thumbnail really pretty. There it is. Anyway, yeah, not anything really exciting. That was actually a really difficult rock hounding trip. I knew it was going to be. I didn't have enough fuel in my pickup to get too far away. And I was afraid that I wasn't really going to enjoy the day anyway because it was so windy and cold. So I was like, why even go put gas in the truck if I'm just going to go out there and turn around and come right back? I did wind up spending some time out there, but I worked my butt off for every single rock that I found. I got my walking stick ready to go, he says. Yeah, it is almost walking season. I cannot wait. But yeah, I actually did find some pretty things, but I had to really, really work hard for it. That's not one of my favorite places to go. Excuse me. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Here's my artifact. I'll probably put him in the trash when we get done here, but I've heard you can actually put that in the rock tumbler. It does not look purple on my screen. Why is that? It looks gray. It's purple, I swear, it's purple. It's so weird how gray it looks. Oh, there's a little pink purple to it. Anyway, I've heard you can tumble that. I don't know. I'm not that person. Maybe somebody out there is. It's not me. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. We'll have another one on Sunday, another coffee and rock chat on Sunday if the weather's not doing much and I'm not doing much. And I don't know, I might have to skip out this Sunday and be working on some of my video that comes out on Tuesday, I think is the day. Anyway, lots of exciting stuff coming up always. You never know what we're going to be doing here. If we're going to be looking at new rocks, if we're going to be doing rock art and jewelry, if we're going to be cutting, flat lapping, adventuring. You just never know. But that's what we have going on between yesterday and today. A couple new pieces of jewelry. Some new rock finds here. This is an old rock find, but just proving that I do find some of this, and it's not necessarily making it wet that makes it easier to find it. It's just a keen eye. So what happened to the ammonite we found and had at Mom's house? I have it. It's by the front door. It's up on the shelf by the lamp by the front door. Or at least the big one is. You say ammonites plural in your chat, but I'm not sure. That, or it's still, there's still quite a few rocks in the front around the deck that she used for landscaping. And I went and looked through them and made sure there wasn't anything super awesome there when the new owner moved in, but I didn't see anything there, brother, that I felt like I needed to take out of there and was gonna miss. So, but I do have one from Mom's that I don't know, but it lives by the front door. So I knew we had a few there, and we might still, but let's go find some new ones. Because everything that I looked at out there that had been used for landscaping was like really, really breaking down and weathering and like, you know, kind of shaling off, if that's a word, shaling, spalding off. Some of that stuff was not handling the elements as well as you hope it would be. And the rest of it was really not anything thrilling. So I didn't worry too much about it. So, but I remember when we were kids, Dad had something that him and Rick Ralston and I totally just fucking threw a name out there. Him and Rickster, Bacon Flickster used to pass around, all those oil guys used to pass around a rock that they thought might be a meteorite. And I'd sure like to get my hands and eyes on that now that I know a little more about meteorites. It was thrilling when I was a kid, but I'd sure like to see that. And I wanted to make sure that didn't end up there, and I looked and couldn't find it. So I don't know where that ended up. One of those guys probably tossed it out in their yard. Anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out. I should probably go before I name drop him anybody else or any place else. So thank you again for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I might cut this and just take it to the chopper, see what happens. Does it look like that all the way through? What is that? I got some exploratory work to do here. Stay tuned. I'll let you know if I learn anything new, like quartz is blue because it's stained by iron. And what else was I upset about? That I learned. And that chalcedony gets this ripply shape, and that's not uncommon. It's not necessarily common around here, but it's not uncommon worldwide. So anyway, those are a couple of the new little tidbits I'd learned throughout the week that I wish I could give the credit where the credit's due as to where I learned that from, but I cannot recall. Anyway, have an awesome rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the prairie with all the pretty rocks. Pretty rocks out on the prairie. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Pretty rocks for us to look at. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Maybe. There it is.